Oh, hey guys, what's good, what's happening, and what's going on? Welcome to the show. So, on my last video, I've had a couple comments about, hey Adam, winter's coming. Are you going to start video gaming again and doing live streams? We got a bit of an issue with that, okay? Here's the issue. Here's the old gaming PC that I use. It's got a GTX 1070 in it, a Core i7 6700K, an old platter hard drive. There's a couple SSDs on the back here. Look at that wiring mess, eh? Cable management, I don't believe in it. Nope. So it's old, it's crusty, and it no longer wants to fire up. I bought I thought the power button on the front was caked, and that's why. So I bought an auxiliary power button here. By bought, I mean I made. I got a button, got some wires, and I made it work. These buttons are cheap. They're like $1.79 off of Temu. I tested the button does work. It just doesn't work on the motherboard. I even tried the old-fashioned ATX short, the startup pins to start it. Something's blown on the system. A new board, chip, RAM, you're looking at probably close to $700. And then will Windows 10 recognize it? Probably won't. So I was like, maybe an upgrade is not an ideal solution, especially for an old dirty case like this. Like, I'd have to tear it down, clean it up. And then I'd want an SSD, and that's like an extra 100, 200 bucks depending on what I get. So in reality, I was like, you know what? Maybe that is not the solution that we need. So a long time ago, during Prime days, that's the word I'm looking for, Amazon Prime, they had these great deals on these NUCs, Nooks. There's a company called Beehive or Beelink? Beelink, yes. And they made this one that caught my eye, and they had it on for like 400 bucks. So it was like $387 plus 13% because I live in Ontario in Canada. We'll just round it up to 400 bucks. It is, yeah, you're probably seeing the screens are hot, but only two of them, right? That's because I bought the Nook, which is this little guy right here. It is a Ryzen 7 with RDNA 2 graphics. Only problem is I can only get two monitors to fire. You probably see this USB-C coming out here into there, which goes into a monitor connector, which is powering this monitor, and the HDMI powers this monitor. It has DisplayPort, but there's a freaking problem with the DisplayPort. You got to use DisplayPort version 1.4. None of my screens support that, so I can only get two screens to fire. However, I was questioning, what's the gaming performance like? We're looking at, well, let me show you the specs. Alrighty, so it's running Windows 11 Professional. It's desktop computer, models SER, you know. Ryzen 7 7735HS with Radeon graphics. So it's got 8 cores, 16 threads, 32 gigs of DDR5. That's what it came with. And it also came with the Radeon processor on it is like Navi, I want to say 2. It's the RDNA 2 platform, seen on, I believe, the 7000 series cards, maybe the 6000 series cards. It's got 12 compute units. It's not too bad. Mainly lately, the only game I've been playing is Rust, and a couple clicker games, and the odd round of Sunken Lands. Now, Sunken Lands I don't think will run on this, but Rust I get a solid 30 frames per second, which will dip down to 20 frames per second when I go to Oil Rig and get swamped by scientists. Anybody who's played Rust knows what I'm talking about. Anybody who hasn't played Rust, you're just clueless to what I'm talking about. But Rust is the main game I play, so I was like, well, it would be a good computer for someone who was just looking to compute, like use it for home use, or, you know, plug it into a couple monitors and go on Facebook, light video gaming. It's a great system. Like, you get a laptop with that processor and it has the RDNA 2 graphics card, you're freaking laughing. But I'd hold off because AMD announced they're going to be releasing their next gen APUs, and they're going to have RDNA 3 graphics, and I've seen some of the results of that. You can see them in the handhelds by Asus, Lenovo, and it's phenomenal. Like, the performance is insane. So I would say hold off and wait for the next gen before you buy this gen. But if you're desperate for a cheap laptop and you can find one with the 7735, go for it. Even the 7535 is pretty good. It's a 6-core, 12 thread. But I'd still hold off, just because I'm me. So despite blowing up my furnace and it costing me 10 grand to replace, I've been actually putting cash aside as well. A fun money fund, if you will. Put $100 here, $100 there, put it in an envelope, you know, in case I needed to, you know. This happened to me actually 2019 February. My furnace failed, my old furnace. Got a guy over to fix the furnace. We figured out the problem was a plug pipe. Because I had to call him out on a holiday, which was family day, I had to basically pay overtime rates. It's what it is, right? You know, you just do what you got to do. So I always have cash on hand hidden away. So I grabbed said cash and paid him off with it because he didn't take credit or debit. So it's always good to have some stockpile of cash. So I've been saving up. My original thought was I was going to start buying parts to rebuild the old gaming system. I'm going to buy a new board, chip, RAM, but I priced it out and it's ridiculous. So this is the Ryzen 7000 series. You get a B650M board with a Ryzen 5 7600X for $800 freaking dollars. I was like, okay, that's a bit expensive. Decent setup. It would definitely rock your socks, but that price tag scares the shit out of me. For 32 gigs of RAM, you're looking at a bill 44. For PC 40 or DDR5 6000, for 6400, you're looking at 164. Ouch. We all know storage is king, so for a Samsung Evo 97 or 970, which is PCI Gen 3, mind you, not 4, even though the board can handle 4, a bill 79. Like, this is getting a little up there, right? And the worst part about building your own computer is you got to buy an operating system. Now, you can probably get away with running Linux, but a lot of Steam games won't run in Linux, and if I'm making a gaming machine, cash is king, boys. So Windows 11, 168 freaking dollars. Now, obviously, I don't want to run the old GTX 1070 in there. I guess I could just to get by for a bit, but I'd like to get something with RTX. Cheapest solution I can find is this MSI Ventus card for $369. And it is only, oh, this is the 8 gig version. They have a 12 gig here for like $389. $129 because I'll need a case. Because I do not have a case to use because I'm pretty sure that old case is, I don't know, I'd have to test it. But I'm going to just chuck this in there as well. $129 for a case. Also going to need the power of the unit, so I'm going to go with this Corsair 750X. Whatever it is, it's a 750 watt power supply. A bill 39. Now once all is said and done, just the cash value before the government gets their cut on my purchase, we're looking at $1,966 to make a gaming computer. This is why people aren't building anymore unless they're super enthusiastic about building to get the optimal tuning performance. This is the reason why people are buying pre-builds, like Lenovo's and Asus and Acer and HP. They got some Victus line out there, whatever. This is the reason why people are doing that, because, well, one of the costs in there, like they don't sell good power supplies with cases. So you can buy a case with a built-in power supply. It's probably 500 watts. It'll get you by on a squeaker build. But if you start putting in cards, like a video card, like a 3060 with an AMD 8-core and SSD storage and all that, you're really going to push that power supply to be running close to peak, and it's not going to last. You're going to pop it. It's going to be a bad time. You'll be replacing it soon enough down the road. Now, obviously, I could go a little bit cheaper on the parts and look for like Intel i5 10 or 11 series, 11 gen, whatever. I could look for an AMD 5000 and cut the bill down a bit, but still, I did the math, and it's still cheaper to buy pre-built versus buying and building your own. Not to mention, I think I need a cooler for that setup as well, which I didn't clock in. I don't know if it came with a fan, I forgot. But this is what I'm getting at. It's cheaper to pre-build than it is to build. The only benefits you have is being an enthusiast and buying the best of the best to get the best hardware out there. just so you can bring your FPS up a bit. But anything above 60 FPS is good enough for me. So I've been browsing, because right now, I don't know about the USA, even though it's their holiday event. We just kind of adopted it because commercialism. Black Friday is coming up next Friday. Here in Canada, we started Black Friday sales 2 weeks ago. Yeah, I don't understand it either. So they've been popping these desktops off on Best Buy and Staples. Those are the only two shops I have in town. Kind of pathetic, right? I know, it is. But those are the only two shops we have in town for desktop gaming. I do want to get back into streaming. I do want to get back into game making content. I was thinking about, well, Skivinz is closed. That account is gone. Anybody who remembers that account, I think it's gone. Let me just check. Holy shit, it's still there. I wonder if I can log into it. What the hell email address did I use for that? I have 2.5k subscribers on that. I wonder if I could bring that back. I wonder if I could revitalize the Skivinz channel. Do I have any way to log into that? I don't even know what the email address is for Skivinz. That could be kind of fun. I might just start a whole new gaming channel. Cause I was thinking about just putting the games on Skivinz, but people might not like that. Even though I do multiple stuff on here. I don't know, I'll upload this video and see what people say. Keep the games to its own channel, keep this channel doing what I'm doing now, or just flood this channel with video content of games, streams. Because I always stream to YouTube. I don't bother with Twitch because Twitch is annoying. Don't really care for it. Rather just keep everything on, keep all my eggs in one basket, exactly what they tell us not to do, right? But once again, guys, I don't do this for the money. I just do it because it's fun. The YouTube thing, it's not worth it to make it your job. I've discovered that. Even though a lot of people make a lot of money, they also are very, very, very depressed because they have a lot of stress to make content. But I do want to get back into game making, especially over the winter, playing video games. It's cold outside. There's not much to do. It gets dark at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. You know, I do a lot during the week. I have my physical training, plus I have my martial arts training. But on weekends, I usually don't do too much. And I was thinking, you can only lift so much. Like if you're going to the gym for 4 hours a day, you're probably overworking your muscles, and it's going to be more detrimental than it is going to be progressive, unless you're on trend. But don't use PEDs, okay? Don't. It's bad. It's bad. It's bad. Now, I know a lot of you are saying, but Adam, you're just showing us a computer that's working. Why can't you use that computer for gaming? Well, because number one, the monitors that are attached to it are designed for video editing, not for gaming. And you're probably thinking, what's the difference? Well, a gaming monitor will be more vibrant, more in your face, if you will. Like it pushes more. A video editing monitor is more neutral, natural, so it doesn't augment anything. It just gives you, not the one above and the one off to the side, those ones are just garbage. I don't do the editing on there. The one dead center, however, is meant to give you a neutral, what you see is what you get color profile. I tried playing Rust on that computer. Not gonna lie, it was awesome. I got like 160 frames per second, 3700X, 8 cores, 16 threads with a 3070 RTX. The frames were not going anywhere but up. So it dominated. Now keep in mind, this is a 3rd generation Ryzen and a 3rd generation TI card. I'm probably bottlenecking the CPU, however, it didn't show any struggle bus, so I don't really give a care. We got 64 gigs of RAM on that computer, so RAM is definitely not an issue. It's a tank. It's basically a little tank for what it is, you know, 3rd gen. It's not too bad. It holds its own. It's running on the 7 nanometer scale, so she's pretty dope. But I'd like to have something dedicated to just gaming. So I can use my gaming monitor, that Acer monitor I have on the other desk. It's vibrant, it's bright, it's in your face, it's sharp. It shows you exactly what games should look like versus potato mode on a TV. Like it's meant for high refresh rates. It can actually dump, or not dump, but it can actually do 144 hertz. You can get 144 frames per second and see every damn frame on the screen, except for your eyeballs apparently can't, but it just looks smooth as glass. I've been contemplating on getting a new machine. This Black Friday deal came up. A bunch of options showed up. A couple classics, a couple new ones. And my main thing is I want to get another computer for gaming, and I have about $1,000 sitting on hand right now that I can spend on one. I'm a big boy, I can spend more money. I do that. And I'm thinking we're gonna go to Best Buy and scoop something up and get it set up. And then we're gonna go ahead and do leg day because I need to do leg day. I've been doing this new thing with leg day, guys. You probably noticed here, there's only 70 pounds on this side, 70 pounds on that side, bringing it up to a $140. Bar's 25 pounds, $165. I weigh 205, so I'm squatting less than my weight. But there's this guy who was doing these squats. He was doing like, you do 20%. Let me tell you, by the time you get to squat 13, your quads are on fire, your glutes is on fire, your hammies are on fire, your body hates your face. You push right to 20, you re-rack, you come out, you have a pump, and veins are shooting out of your legs. It's pretty dope. The next day isn't though, but that day is pretty dope. So that's my battle plan. I'm gonna head over to Best Try and grab a rig. I don't care if it's an i5, an i7, a Ryzen, whatever. My main specifications are it needs to have at least a 3060 RTX, which is more than enough for the games I play. It needs to have spots for an extra SSD NVMe, because these all come with like 512 gigabytes of NVMe storage, which I could easily get away with. I do have a 2 terabyte SSD upstairs, but it is SATA, so it's not fast, but it'll get the job done in a pinch if I need to. So I'm gonna go there and see what I can see, grab what I can grab, bring it back. We'll do an unboxing. We'll check it out. All right, guys. I'm not bringing you with me because I'm not that awkward guy that films in stores anymore. I'll talk to you when I get back. All right, guys, I'm back. And what a fiasco. Okay, so I get the Best Try because that's where I go to buy my computers, right? Because live in a shitty town, not much available. Gotta do what you gotta do to get did. Anyhoozle, go in there, see the one I want on display. I'm like, dope, got good specs. i5, 12400. GeForce 3060 RTX, 12 gigs of RAM, 512 SSD, which is basically what the Nook is running. It'll do me for now. I'll get an SSD upgrade. Got 2 M.2 slots for SSDs. One's being occupied by the current SSD, and then you got a spare one where you can jam another one in there for more power. Got an M.2 for Wi-Fi Bluetooth, so sweet, Bluetooth. That's useless. I don't really use much except for headsets, but I'd rather use my Razer gaming headset. Ready to go, and it was $8.99 out the door. So after the government's cut, I think it came up to like $978 or something. I don't know. Let me do the math. No, sorry. It came up to $1,015 out the door after all the said and done. They don't charge any environmental pollution tax on them anymore. I thought they did. Apparently they do on the laptops because they come with a lithium polymer battery, but on desktops they don't. So I guess because they expect you to recycle the components if you're going to scrap them. And that's what I usually do, bring them to the hazardous waste depot and do that. So what we're looking at here is an Acer Nitro 50. It lies within, yeah it does, within this box. 16 gigs of RAM, i5 12400F, RTX 3060. But this is where the problem lies, okay? So I get there, I'd show him the computer on the website, say apparently you have 2 in stock. But he's like, okay, yeah, they're right over there, I'll go grab one. He climbs the ladder, he's looking, he's like, holy shit, couldn't find it. Wasn't there. I'm like, dude, you have 2 in stock. He's like, I know, I can't find them. So they go into the back area, start browsing around, can't find them. Running all over the store. I was there for 45 freaking minutes while they were trying to play hide and seek with this computer. Turns out they didn't have it skewed correctly. It was in the wrong SKU. So I was like, all right, so they found it. And I'm like, well, we'll see, make sure it's the right one at the cash. But he scans it, comes back at $8.99 on sale, regular $13.99. And he's like, yeah, there you go. It's ready to go. So I'm like, all right, let's do this. So paid for it, walked out the door, came home. Now we're here. So bit of an adventure there. Always happens when I go to Best Buy to buy something. I've always got interest in something, and it ends up becoming an adventure to try and find said product. So much fun. Anyway, let's go ahead and unbox this thing. So I'm not sure how I'm going to do this. I also need a knife. I figure there's no knife better to use than the old machete. Yeah, let's carve into this. That's my unboxing knife, guys. There we go. Sorry for the angles. It's been a hot minute since I've done an unboxing. Oh, there it is. It's a lot smaller than I thought. What do we got over here? We have... Came with a mouse. That's weird. Didn't think it was coming with peripherals. Sweet. I like free shit. Oh my god. Look at this pathetic little mouse. I'm gonna hurt my hands if I try to use that. Imagine actually gaming with that. Some people probably do. That's like a mouse for an infant. Not sure what's going on in here. We got the power cable. We have an extra SATA, nice, and a lead to power a hard drive. That I'm going to hang on to, because if I'm doing video recording, I'm going to want to use an SSD to store the video files to, just to make life a lot easier for editing purposes, because platter drives are a joke. Mind you, if I get a 2 terabyte NVMe, stuff it in there, I might just save files there. Even though a lot of people frown on that because it puts extra stress on the NVMe with read writes, and it burns it out quicker. All right, get that out of the way. Oh, they gave us a keyboard too. Oh my goodness. Bet you it's like mechanical razor technology. Nope, tiniest little keyboard you ever did freaking see. Look at this. Actually, that's kind of nice. I'm not gonna lie. I actually don't mind that. That's really nice. Okay, I'm gonna put that in my stockpile of old keyboards and old mice. I may actually use that setup on my working station when I work from home. I've been doing that a little bit lately. All right, now for the meat. Let's see what this thing looks like. Oh, what do we got here? Oh yeah, stickers! I love stickers. Stickers are awesome. Yeah, stickers. I'm trying to find a word. Grab this thing. There we go. All right, don't need the box anymore. So it's a lot smaller than the old system, but there she is. Notice how there is no, ooh yeah. There is no CD-ROM tray because that technology is no longer a thing. It's got the Core i5 logo on the front. You got USB red thing on the front. You got USB-C on the front. Your line in for audio. Pretty basic, pretty basic. Maybe we should crack it open and take a look at the guts, eh? Interesting power button on there. I'm not sure what this double rocker thing is. May have to read the manual. On the back, we have USB 2.0, USB 3.0, USB 2.0, Ethernet, your video inputs, and your audio inputs. You know what? I want to take this thing apart and take a look at it. Let's do that. Not gonna lie, I'm a little excited because, like, new computer. Probably should use a better screwdriver, but multi-tool's working, so go, multi-tool action. I think they could have put thumb screws on this thing. I might upgrade that. Mind you, once I do the upgrades I want to do to this thing by cranking the RAM up. Gonna put 32 gigabytes in it. I wonder if the 12th generation can handle DDR5. Pop the side off this pig, and what do we got? So, inside, it doesn't look very, very, very good. It looks kind of weak, to be honest, but so what are we looking at in here? So we got, there's the processor, there's the heatsink, very underwhelming. There is the SSD there. I can't tell what brand it is, so we'll say Ching Chong Bing Bong. It's Phison, P-H-I-S-O-N. You only got 2 sticks for RAM, and they're both populated with 8 gigs each. That'll be getting 32 gigs. Don't worry about that. 2 SATA ports with 2 motherboard leads. I'm guessing that's where this cable comes into play. So, right on. We have, there's the Wi-Fi NVMe, and there's the second NVMe slot right in front of me. You can see it right there. There's a SATA 3. I don't know what the heck that header there is for. I'm gonna have to look that up. I don't know what make this motherboard is. I can't see any identifying markers anywhere. There's the RTX card. That'll be my second RTX card that I own. I have 3070, or yeah, 3070. This is a 3060. You got 2 trays down here for some hard drives if you want to stove hard drives into it. So that's pretty sweet. Yeah, this card is very underwhelming, eh? She's just a tiny little girl. Oh, we'll see how she games. It'll probably throw down fine. If I'm able to play Rust with a friggin' APU, I should be able to play Rust with a dedicated GPU and a 12th generation i5. Like, come on. Even if it was a 1200 series with the XE graphics, it'd probably be alright. Not really, but let's just pretend. Alright, so that's the inner workings of this pig. Looks like a standard power supply. I'm trying to see where it connects to the main It's not a standard power supply. It's a whack power supply. It's like the Lenovo. So there's an 8-pin over there and a 6-pin up here. Some bitch pile of monkey nuts. Is that what I'm really seeing? Do I need to take the back off? Is there wires going through the chassis anywhere? Oh man, this is not going to be... You know what? This should be a 500 watt power supply. So we'll just hope that this setup is designed to work and they actually benchmarked it. Otherwise, I got 30 days. I can bring it back, which is good. Let's get this thing set up. Alrighty, fired it up. Just waiting for something to happen. Oh, there we go. Yeah, she's pretty. She's got like a bunch of glowy stuff on her. So we'll let this thing boot up. It's gonna pump into Windows. I'm gonna have to do the Windows setup fun. Oh, now it's over here. I'm gonna have to adjust my screens. Do you have a mouse cursor yet? I bought a new keyboard because I didn't have one over here. It's a Steel Series and a mouse. Let me tell you, it's so weird when you're playing games with RGB control like Rust. When you venture out into the wild, it'll like flash red, but then when you're back home safe, it goes white, and when you're in comfort, it turns green. So that's kind of neat. Anyway, I got some nonsense to set up. Let's go. I'm just gonna say Windows 11 is pretty racist. Apparently English, United States, or French, Canada. Dicks. So I'm over here setting up my computer, right? Remember how I said that it was in the wrong SKU? I think I got the wrong computer, but this is good. So, sitting here and I'm like getting ready to log into Steam, and normally on Windows 10 down here you have a whole plethora of icons, right? So I click up here and I come across, I'm just checking to see what bloatware they got in here. The Acer Care Center, that's gotta go. Never use OneDrive, I'll just stop that at startup. This thing's bitching and moaning, but whatever. I come across NVIDIA settings. I'm like, oh, let's see what that's all about. Open it up. What does that say? RTX 4060. Computer was supposed to come with a 3060. It came with a 4060. This intrigues me. I think we need to pop sysinfo and have a peek see. Now I wonder if that's an i7 underneath that fan, or hopefully not an i3. Holy sweet Jesus, guys, they gave me the wrong computer and I'm okay with that. 13th generation Core i5. 13400F, 2500 megahertz, 10 cores, 16 logical threads. This is one of those magical processors from Intel that has the efficient cores and the performance cores. So it has six performance cores that are dual thread. So there's your 12 logical cores, and then it has an additional 4 efficient cores for background processing or whatever the hell. ARM's been doing it for decades. It's not that big of a deal. Intel got into it with their 12th gen, I believe, or their 11th gen, one of those two. The i7s came with it. The i5s never had the efficient cores. They just started introducing them in the 13th year, I believe. I could be wrong on that. I could be wrong. But I know the 12400 was only 6 cores, 12 threads, and the 11400 was only 6 cores, 12 threads. But this is one of those efficient core ones. How much RAM does this thing have? Okay, it's got 16 gigs. That's right. That's perfect. Does it say how big the hard drive is? Should be a 512. This is freaking weird. They gave me the wrong computer. I'm not gonna fight them on this. I'm not gonna call them and let them know they screwed up. I'm happier than a pig in shit. What if pigs in shit are actually happy though? Nope, they muffed up big time, guys. It's supposed to have a 512. And that one has a 1 terabyte. A 1 terabyte drive. I won't need to upgrade anytime soon. Because 1 terabyte, I play Rust, Sunken Land. And apparently it came with some Xbox Live Game Pass bullshit. So I might try some of those games. They got some one on there called Grounded. I think that's the one where it's like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Might give that one a go. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, I'm going to carry on and set this thing up, and let's see how awesome if I can get over 30 frames per second on GTX 4060 or RTX 4060. Wow. And 16 gigabytes of RAM with a big old dirty 1 terabyte SSD on a 13400F. If I can't, then Nooks for the win. One thing about buying a pre-built, holy bloatware, Dragon, Care Center, whatever that is, ExpressVPN, got friggin' McAfee, Microsoft Office, all this bullshit. Gonna have to smoke it all. I'm okay with that. Alrighty guys, we're loaded into Rust here. I've been seeing about 93 to 100 frames per second. Currently I am running the game on Ultra mode. Everything's pretty much where Ultra mode wants to put it, so that works. And it's awesome. Way smoother than playing on the Nuke. So yeah, I friggin' dig it. I friggin' dig it. Finally got her all set up and ready to rock. It's currently nighttime, so I can't really go outside. And I don't have screen capture software installed yet, but that will change in time. I don't know, I might stream tonight. I might not. We'll see what we get up to. Alrighty, well, I just tested out the gaming system. I'm getting 100 frames. I went and killed some people, and I'm playing on a server on Rust. It's a players versus environment, instead of playing on the PvP servers, as a lot of people do. Not a lot. There's a lot of people who play PvE just because they basically tailor it so there's a lot of people playing, but the monuments are infested with bad guys, so you're not getting murked by other players or griefed or anything. So you get to enjoy the game a bit more and have a little bit more fun and play it at your own pace. I do play vanilla. I play on Blueprint server every once in a while, or I'll play on Winter Rust. But it's it's a completely different atmosphere over there because, you know, you spawn in and some jackass comes over and just kills you for no reason, just because you're there. So it's a pretty toxic game. I'm not going to lie, it's toxic as frig. I've been toxic in the game. One kid, he completely destroyed me, and I basically retaliated by sitting outside of his door with a shotgun, and the moment he opened it, I gave him a face full of buckshot. Yeah, took all of his stuff. Sometimes that's how you got to play. But I like the players versus environment versions better because you get to practice more. Like you can go up against basically AI bots and get better control over the guns and that. Because recoil, they keep modifying it as the game gets patched, and it gets kind of annoying. But I also tested out streaming and recording, and both of those work pretty damn good too. So new OBS has this great feature where now it integrates with your YouTube or your Twitch. So you can actually set up your broadcast right from the application and go. So sweet. I used to use NDI because, well, the old computer, the i7 6700K, just didn't have enough oomph to run these new games, even though Rust isn't that new, but to run the newer games that I was playing like Red Dead Redemption while streaming without getting CPU bottlenecked and then shitting the bed. This new computer, however, with its freaking, 16 cores, it's not having any issues at all. But this is not the computer I was supposed to get. The one I was supposed to get was a 12400. I don't think it was an F. I think it was a 12400 with 16 gigs of RAM, a GeForce RTX 3060, and I was wrong on the price. Same look and everything. It was just last year's model, I guess. I don't know. It could have been this year's model and they just had some extra 1200s and they put them in them. But yeah, 13th generation i5, like it cooks. I probably don't even need to have the settings as high as I do, but like I say, as long as I get over 60 frames per second, good enough, good stuff, you know. I'm going to have to install Grand Theft Auto on it. Grand Theft Auto 6 comes out. Well, they're going to be dropping a teaser for it soon, so that'll be kind of cool to see. Yeah, winter's coming. Time to play some video games. Maybe I'll get Scum going again. Been a while since I played Scum. I'll play it on an actual live populated server. That gets annoying. Now you don't even, now instead of just watching out for the puppets, you also got to watch out for other players because they're jackasses and they'll just kill you on the spot. I don't know. We'll see what we get up to this winter because ice fishing is going to happen. I definitely plan on ice fishing. Training is definitely going to be a thing that I'm going to be really passionate about. You know, build this body, get it ready for summer. And obviously martial arts, loving that, even though it's something that you like to know, but hopefully you never have to use, because let's just say defending yourself, if you know how to fight and you really frig someone up, holy crap, court cases are probably not a good thing to be involved in, but keep that in mind. It's one of those things that better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it, if you know what I'm saying. But anyway, guys, I'm going to check out. So thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed today's video. If you did, click that like button. Any questions, comments, concerns, down below they go. And until next time, peace the mother frig out. Sit, stupid, sit. Good dog.